Hello and welcome everybody to the Power of Practice on Air special edition. I'm your host, Lisa Engles. I'm a mind, body, health, and well-being author, speaker, and mindset mastery coach. I'm also the founder of Inner State Coaching, where I help busy and ambitious women to step off of that stress treadmill and to reclaim control of their health, their wealth, and their overall happiness. Now, in my 20 years of working as a coach, it really became very clear to me that creating radical change, radical transformation isn't about doing certain things. Rather, it's about doing things in a certain way, which, of course, requires a little bit of practice. So, on this show, I interview guest experts from all across the world from a wide range of fields, from health and personal development to business and everything in between. And I ask them all one question, and that question is, what one practice can you share with us that can create a radical breakthrough in health and wealth and happiness? And through these practices that my guest experts bring to the show, you, the viewer, gains the tools that you need in order to turn your stumbling blocks into stepping stones. So I invite you to tune in for these weekly episodes on Thursdays at noon Pacific time, and also visit me and learn more about me at www.innerstatecoaching.com. While you're there, you can also download my free report, which outlines a simple 5-step practice to create radical breakthroughs. Now, in today's special edition of The Power of Practice, I'm interviewing a very, very special guest. Her name is Lindsays Kenny. She's an EFT Master Trainer and Practitioner. To me, she's a mentor, really. Lindsay was one of the very first EFT masters and one of only 28 in the world. She is the founder of the National Alliance for Emotional Health, and Lindsay has been a featured presenter, one of the presenter in Nick Ortner's annual World Tapping Summit since it was founded, or since he started it over 6 years ago. She's in it this year as well. I think that's coming up next week. I'm sure she'll tell us a little bit more about that. She's also a contributing editor to a couple books, Freedom at Your Fingertips and EFT and Beyond, Cutting Edge Techniques for Personal Transformation. And you can find Lindsay at proeft.com. Now, I first met Lindsay in 2006 when I attended her level 1 training, tapping training in San Francisco, California. I got totally just overwhelmed by the transformations that happened for me with tapping, and especially the way that Lindsay has a unique way of teaching the tapping to her students. And I feel really blessed and honored to have been able to study with her, and that's why I do consider her a mentor. Between the years of 2006 and 2009, really, and really tapping is something that I've integrated into my coaching practice. It's just one of the practices. It's a main tool that I use. So I'm really excited to be bringing here. And I have to say that Lindsay is a woman with an amazing, absolutely amazing capacity to create innovative tapping solutions and systems, unlike anybody I've ever met before. And on top of that, she's very wise and compassionate and extremely funny. So welcome to my show, Lindsays Kenny.
Thank you, Lisa. I can't live up to that introduction. Are you kidding me?
Sure you can. You already have in my mind, so let's tap on that, Lindsay. So it's so wonderful to have you here on the show today. And I really, tapping has become so popular. And I say that just because I think I'm in the world of tapping, and I mean, you would know better than I, probably millions of people are using tapping to transform so many parts of their life. But for those of people who might be watching this show today, can you give a little bit of an explanation of what we're talking about when we're talking about tapping?
Yeah, the most succinct way I can describe it is simply a way to tap into your body's energy system by way of the meridian system, which is where acupuncturists put their needles to release blocked or stored energy, negative emotions and such. And unlike acupuncture that uses needles, we simply use pressure points or release points around the face and the torso of the body to release negative energy. So things that might take months or years with traditional therapy may be able to be resolved in a matter of minutes or hours with tapping. I mean, I have some processes that can erase a whole lifetime of adverse events and emotions and negative lessons in really a matter of minutes. There's no downside. It is totally safe. There's no drugs, there's no needles, it is just totally safe. The downside is it works so rapidly that it kind of scares people. They go, well, what? This can't be true. I've been dragging this around a long time. I want to hold on to my stuff. I've been doing it since 2001, and it changed my personal life and my professional life as a coach, because I always wanted to be a therapist, a psychologist, but I couldn't see myself sitting on a chair and somebody laying on a couch saying, so your father locked you in a closet. How did that make you feel? I couldn't imagine doing that all day. And this, it's not much therapy. I'm finding out what happened and then neutralizing any charge on accidents or medical diagnoses or being stuck in your life. It works on so many different things that it's astonishing.
What would you say are the biggest things, the most popular things that people like to use tapping for?
Well, I think one of the common issues that people bring to me is being stuck. People get stuck in their lives, can't move forward, they can't get done, they can't finish things, they can't get started with things. They just seem stuck in a loop, playing the same tapes, so to speak, over and over again. I don't know what to do, I don't know how to do it, I don't know how to do it right, I don't have the stuff I need to do it. So dealing with stuck issues is a huge thing. Other issues that are also stuck issues are procrastination, clutter, and weight issues. I'd say 80% of the people, maybe 90%, have one or all of those issues. And issues.
And do you get the stuck money issues too a lot?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, debt is an issue. It's very much like weight or procrastination. They get stuck in this loop of being in debt, and the language that they say to themselves over and over, I'm never going to get out of this. Where am I going to get this money? I'm never going to have enough money. I'm never going to be ahead and in the black, or how am I going to be, or what if I'm not? And that's all negative programming, which keeps them focused on the negative part and keeps them stuck. So a large part of what I do is it's not just releasing the energy, but it's law of attraction. We're getting them past, and once we're done with the negative part, is getting them into the positive part, seeing them living their life by design instead of by default. Mm-hmm. A lot of people take the attitude of, well, let me just see what happens, and then I'll deal with it, as opposed to let me be in charge of what happens. And that's quite an eye-opener for people to see that they absolutely have something to say about not only the things that happen in their life that happen to them, but in how they deal with it. We may not cause earthquakes and hurricanes and tornadoes and fires. We don't play a role in causing that to happen, but it's our choice about how we deal with those things. And when people get to the point where they can say, it doesn't matter what tomorrow brings me, I trust myself to have the resources to deal with it, there's not much more of an empowering statement and feeling.
What would you say about this concept of willingness, and how much willingness someone has to have in order for tapping to work? Is there a need for the willingness to transform, or can tapping actually help someone get through not being willing to transform?
Well, there's a difference in being afraid to transform and the willingness to be willing. You do have to be willing. You have to want to, at least consciously want to, let's say, stop smoking or get sober or clean up the clutter. And I have had people that didn't willingly want to. I had a guy that his wife drug him into my office, and he was on a air ventilator, those things, those oxygen tanks that you plug into your nose. He was a 30, 40-year, 3-pack-a-day smoker, had emphysema and lung cancer, and she wanted him to get off smoking. And so we started talking about it, and I was noticing a lot of resistance. And I said, so Ed, do you want to stop smoking? He goes, no. It's a release for me. I love it. I can look forward to it. I just light up one when I let go of the other. It's just, I know I don't want to let it go. I said, even though it's killing you. It goes, well, I'm going to die sometime. And I said, so why did you come in today? And he goes, well, she made me. She drugged me in. I said, this isn't going to work for you. This isn't going to work. He said, you know what? Can you make me stop feeling bad about the fact that I don't want to stop smoking? Well, maybe we could tap on that. But if you don't want to quit a behavior or start a new one, you're not willing, then no, it doesn't. There are things that can keep tapping from working. And so people think that, well, tapping isn't working. Instead, it's not working the way they're doing it. And one of the biggest things that gets in the way of successful tapping sessions is someone's subconscious resistance to change. Now, the conscious resistance is, I don't want to quit smoking. It serves me in some way. Or I don't want to stop having an affair. I'm afraid I'm going to get caught, but I don't want to, break up with this affair person. That's a conscious thing. Subconscious is your subconscious mind trying to protect you, and it can be very, very powerful and a powerful obstacle to get by if you just try to plow through it with tapping. So I have a simple process that neutralizes that subconscious resistance to change right at the beginning. It kind of takes the subconscious and sets it over to the side to text somebody or, webs for something while you're consciously working on an issue. And that really helps. There are other things that times that tapping won't work or things it may not work for. And particularly people that have psychiatric disorders, it's not going to make somebody not be schizophrenic or paranoid schizophrenia or some real serious psychiatric disorder because they don't have the connections needed to tap. It may calm their symptoms down or a little bit, make them feel better, but it's not something that most people want to try to tap.
For the vast majority of people, the tapping is a profound practice that they can incorporate into their lives on a regular basis, in a daily basis, if they need to. But why don't you give a little bit of an overview of tapping and how much tapping is required in order to experience the transformation?
Well, usually you can experience a shift in the first 30 seconds or a couple of minutes by tapping. And when I do a demonstration with people, I'll have them say, think of something that's going on currently, not something way in the past, but something currently that has you a little upset, or a physical discomfort that's new, maybe a creak in the neck or tight shoulders or something like that. And then we tap on releasing that. Might be anger at your boss for overlooking you in a promotion, or anger at a friend for telling a secret or something like that that's recent. And we simply address that while we tap, and they can see, right, we get a measurement on a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do you feel about this? What's the charge on that anger or frustration? And they'll say a 10. And then we do a couple of rounds, takes a couple of minutes, and say, now what is it? And they say it's an 8. We don't stop there, but that gives them a sense that it's changing. Another couple of rounds, it may drop to a 4, 5, or 6. And you keep doing that till it's at a 0, and then they kind of go, wow, how did this happen? This is amazing. Will it come back? That's what people say. Is this going to come back? But it doesn't. That issue, once it's resolved, won't come back. And at least I should say here too that a lot of people then will email you or me and say, will tapping work on my blank? Or will tapping work for my this? The tapping solution used to be called try it on everything and see if it works for you. The downside of that is people will do one round and do it incorrectly, and they think, oh, well, it doesn't work for me. And, that's sort of like getting into a car and looking around and say, there's the key thing and the wheel thing and the window thing or the mirror, but I'm not going anywhere. So I guess cars don't work. It's a little bit like that.
That's a great analogy. I love that.
To make it move.
There are, yeah, I tap on anything. It can work. Try it on anything. But there is sort of a framework in which you want to be using so that you can tap in and have the results that you're hopefully looking for. And I like this idea of it's a practice, because in my experience, the more you do it, and especially if you get a tapping buddy to work with or friends or whoever, and you start to hone, there's an art, a little bit of an art to understanding the psychology of it as well. And not that you have to be a practitioner or anything, I'm just saying that the more you practice it and the more you do it, the more you start to see the nuances of how tapping can really get super powerful really, really quick.
Yeah, listen, I want to do another kind of a caveat here. There's certain things that people can tap on that will really work for them, particularly current things like I just mentioned. Somebody just yelled at you, you just got fired, found out you're going to lose your home, your kid gets kicked out of school, things that are just right in your face. You can tap on those and really bring the charge down and eliminate it. The older, more highly charged things, you know, sexual abuse or a horrible divorce or horrible accident or the loss of somebody, something that really was impactful and complex, that has a lot of different elements to it. You need to see somebody professional to do that. I mean, even the most skilled surgeon couldn't remove their own appendix. They don't have the perspective to see it. And the pain would be
right.
really tough too. And so people are just starting this. They don't have anywhere near the skill they need to deal with a really complex issue like weight or procrastination or clutter or self-sabotage or PTSD and a million other things. You want people, the self-help stuff that they teach, like in the tapping solution, and that I kind of teach people how to do on my site, is the simple things, everyday stress and anxiety and frustration, anger type things that you can tap away to make your day easier. When you get into more complex things, you should see a professional about it. Yeah, I have some basic stuff on my site. You mentioned it in proeft.com, and I have some stuff that we're not going to try to teach people here how to tap, I assume, but the people can download a starter package that gives them videos, audios, articles, workbooks, that gives them some basic information on how to tap, and I encourage people to do that and see how it works. And then I have a lot of listings for a lot of practitioners. You're on that listing.
Yeah, and that is a wonderful segue into one of the reasons why I brought you on here. I was really bummed in the fall because I think it was September. You had an event. It was called the Transformational Tap Athan, and I missed it, and I was so bummed to miss it. It conflicted with my schedule, but dun, 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 dun. You decided to do another one, and I'm so happy that I contacted you about this and just offered to volunteer to help you out on getting it going live stream so that you can bring the work that you do to more people than just live. So let's talk for a moment about the Transformational Tap Athan, because this is something unlike anything else that anybody has ever done, any EFT master, anything. So I'm going to hand it over to you to give us a little bit more of an idea of what is the Transformational Tap Athan.
Well, it's something that in the 13 years or so that I've been doing this, I've never been this excited about anything. And going into that first one in September, I wasn't sure how it was going to be. I knew the processes were great. I wasn't sure how people would accept it, but people went ballistic and bouncing off the walls in 2 days. People that were brand new to EFT tapping and people that have been doing it. Even some of my Pro EFT masters were in the class, and they were saying amazing things like, wow, this is the best stuff you've ever had. And it really, I teach several processes within those 2 days. There are 3 basic processes that I've developed in the last 2 or 3 years. I call it the transformation trio. And what happened was I use it in my private practice. I teach it in my level 3 course, those techniques. But I was doing it with a client last summer, high-powered president of a huge communications company, let's say a company everyone listening to this will know. I mean, huge company, but I can't reveal that. Amazon.com. No, I'm just kidding. Not Amazon. I really respect privacy, but this guy functions at a high level. He's a multi-millionaire. So I'm doing these processes on him to help him let go of his past, let go of his shame and guilt about the mistakes he's made, and then plan his future in a way that was beyond anything he ever thought possible. And he was in an hour and a half, and he just, at the end, he said, I just can't even believe what's happened. This is the most amazing thing. Do you teach this? And I said, I do, and I teach to my level 3 practitioners, and I use it with all my clients like I am with you. And he goes, no, I teach it so people can have this tool. And I said, no. And he goes, well, do it. You should have a workshop, of course, that teaches this. And I thought, yeah, you're right. And so that was July, and by September or August, whenever it was, we had the class ready to go. And now I want to let go of everything else and just focus on that. I'm not saying that's what I'm going to do, but this is really passionate. I'm passionate about this because I see an enormous transformation, which is why we call it that, in 2 days. I mean, really, people that come in bummed out about a lot of things, and they leave optimistic and hopeful and excited about their lives and seeing the potential. Now, I'm not saying they clear every single thing out and fix every problem in their life, but they clear out most of it, and they have the tools then to fix the rest of it, the tools to go forward, so that when they have a problem down the line, they sort of have a template. They can just plug the problem into the template and fix it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
And, yeah, because one of the things people say about tapping, no, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I don't know. Well, this is kind of gives you a really powerful, sort of insightful way to identify all of the elements of an issue and how to measure how it's affecting you, and then how to get rid of it. So I'm very excited about it. And then, Lisa, your idea about streaming this live to people, so that not just the people that can afford to come here to the San Francisco Bay Area and do it live in February, but those that can't, that live around the world, and we both have clients all over the world. This is an opportunity for them to watch it, and if they can't watch it live, to have the video available, the replays of it. So the idea that we can help transform lives all over the place with this is beyond exciting for me. So thank you for that.
And I'm going to toot your horn for just a minute, because you're not saying it, and because I think you just see it as like, oh yeah, but dude, Lindsay, you are the, I know, I have to use the California, like, dude,
that's all right.
Dudette, you create these systems, you have formulas, and I think that that's key, because when you get into tapping, it can be, like you said, like, what do I say next? And and that is what I loved about when I met you right from the beginning. You had very clear, succinct, easy to follow formulas, not just to get rid and make you feel good today and happy today, and like you said, work on the current issues, but you have formulas and systems that get you in, that take you that deep dive into the deep stuff and pull you right back up and out and shoot you into the stars. I mean, that's what I think about your systems, really.
Well, I think it stems from necessity, and maybe I'm a little lazy. I just kind of bored with going, this problem. I wanted to hurry the process up, because the tedium was bothering me. So that was part of the motivation. And then I'd come across a situation with a client where I wasn't sure where to go with them, or I'd recognize an obstacle I hadn't seen before, and I would invent something on the spot. Well, let's try this. And it worked, then I would hone that and perfect it and get it to a point where it really worked. And almost every process, including this transformation trio that we're going to be doing in this workshop, came from a necessity from a client. For instance, one time, a couple of years ago, a client, she was dealing with an accident, and her culpability, and she was driving, and somebody was injured or almost killed in this accident, a dear friend, and it was quite a traumatic thing. And so we're tapping on the trauma of that. And we got the number coming down from a 10 to 5 or so. I said, so what is the intensity now? What is charge on this? And she goes, well, am I measuring the intensity on the trauma itself, the accident, or the how I felt about it, the sadness and the fear and the anxiety afterwards, and that shock of it? Or am I dealing with the ongoing pain that I'm having, my migraines and my sleepless nights, my chronic anxiety? Or is it the beliefs that I feel about myself, like there's something wrong with me and I'm stupid and I can't do anything right, and how could I have been so careless? And I'm going, duh, let me write that down. I mean, it wasn't that I was unaware of it, but she just, boom, 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 she named the 4 elements of every issue. The event or circumstance, the thing that happened, the accident or the wreck or the divorce or the custody battle or whatever it might be, and the feelings, the sadness, anxiety, fear, frustration, anger, resentment, hatred, how it affects your life, which is a big deal. How does all of that stuff affect your life? And those are the symptoms that people come to me with. Those are the issues. They say, I need to get rid of my clutter, or I want to lose weight, or I'm stuck. I can't move forward. I can't get things done I need to do. I want to get out of this marriage, whatever. Those are the symptoms or issues that are caused by the events that have happened to you and the emotions that are unresolved that you've experienced. Those things then they cause us to form beliefs about ourselves. So we see ourselves with all these problems. I can't finish school. I can't keep a job. I can't stay in a relationship or find a relationship. I'm just sick all the time. And, all the whatever problems. I'm in debt. And so we form then beliefs about ourselves of, there must be something wrong with me. I'm not good enough. I'm an idiot. Nobody likes me. I can't trust anybody. Can't trust myself. I'm not okay. I'm not safe. There's about 10 fundamental beliefs that we form that are validated over and over and over again in our lives by other events. So we repeat those same patterns. It validates that belief. God, there's something wrong with me. I'm stupid. I'm an idiot. I can't do anything right. And we get more and more problems. So that seeing that we need to clear up all of that, not just the trauma, not just the emotions, but all of that, is what we do in this tapathon. And that's why it's so powerful. It's done in a short period of time, whereas we used to take one issue, one aspect of one issue, the anger, or let's say of an accident, the fear that it caused, or anxiety, and somehow tap that away and focus on it, peck away at it until it's gone. And now let's take the frustration of something else, or the pain, and deal with that. Now we do all of it at one time, and I guarantee you there are thousands and thousands of diehard basic EFT people out there that would say, you can't do that. You have to be really specific. We learned to be terrific, be specific. Mm-hmm. When I was really specific about something, and I've learned that's not true. We're working on the body's energy system, and it's all related. So we get rid of one thing, and everything else kind of collapses. And it's almost magical, but it's definitely highly effective and exciting to know that we have the capability of cleaning up our life in almost one fell swoop.
It's really, really awesome. And so people who are viewing, I want you to notice that below Lindsay is actually a link, a bit.ly link, and that's where you can find out more about the Transformational Tap Athan. And you can now see the link below me as well. And the Transformational Tap Athan is happening on this February. So just in, what is that, Lindsay, like 10 days or so?
February 22nd and 23rd. Lisa, does that link go to the page on my side, or would they sign up for the streaming one?
This one goes to the streaming one. This one goes to the live stream. So this link that you see here just below Lindsay and just below myself will take you to get more information about how to register, how to sign up for Lindsay's live stream Transformational Tap Athan. And in the live stream event, what that means is you can be from the comfort of your own home learning from a master practitioner. I mean, Lindsay has been doing this for 13, 14 years now. I guess it's 2014, so 14 years, 13 years. And in the live stream event, you can watch on your computer, you can watch from your phone, your tablet, whatever you want. We obviously suggest you're in a quiet place so that you can really participate in this event. But it's an amazing opportunity for you to tap into some really amazing work and tools and techniques. But more than that, even, like I said, Lindsay has created systems, and systems that don't just work on that base level of making your day-to-day okay, but really digging in, getting through the stuff and catapulting you out into a whole nother realm in your life. I think you talk about it, Lindsay, in terms of, create the life, envision and create the life that you would love to live is really what the Transformational Tap Athan, the end result of it is. And
that's it. That's right. So, Lisa, for those that want to attend the live event, can I put in a plug for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, the shortcut to get there is tinyearl.com. I always say Tiny Earl's a guy I used to date, but it's used to tinyeurl.com, and then /Tapathon 14. It's different, going to be different every year. So it's tinyearl.com, Tapathon 14. So you can read more about what's going to be, what the live event will entail. You can also register for the streaming event on there. So if you happen to be in the Bay Area or plan on coming here and want to do the live event, we still have some openings. If we close the openings and our class gets full, or you're okay with doing it live, doing the streaming thing, which has certainly got a lot of advantages, then you have both options there as well.
Awesome. And there's an aspect of this live streaming that I think is really cool. Some people think, oh, just live stream, but I'm not going to get to interact with Lindsay. I won't get to ask my questions. And actually, as part of this live streaming event, you will get to chat. There's a chat function that allows you to type in any questions you might have, comments to Lindsay. I'm the one that's moderating and helping produce the live stream aspect of this, so I'll be getting those comments and questions to Lindsay. So you absolutely are expected to participate so that you get the same transformational results, and you can still participate by asking your questions and commenting. You'll get to sit in on groups that Lindsay is going to be doing throughout, so you can see how people are working together, and you can tap along with that, borrowing the benefits. And do you have anything else on that piece to add, Lindsay?
Yeah, we'll be doing a lot of tapping. It's called the Tapathon. So we teach a process. I'll demonstrate how it works, and then I put people in the small groups or dyads, two people working with each other all over the room, the live room, and they tap. But we also do tapping in the group, the general group. So when we're tapping, those of you listening, watching the live stream will be tapping as well. If you don't do that, you don't tap, it's sort of like having a book in front of you and not reading it. I mean, you got to do that with us. Also, Lisa, another benefit you're adding is if they have to miss a section, like the live event is going to be both the live workshop in person and the streaming on February 22nd and 23rd. But some people say, oh, gee, I've got a yoga class in the afternoon, or I've got to take my kid to the doctor. If you sign up for the live streaming event, you'll be able to watch the recordings, the replays afterwards. So if you can't watch any of it, or you're going to miss part of it, you'll be able to catch up via the replays. Right, Lisa?
Yeah, absolutely. The replays are an integral function of the live streaming event. It's an investment in yourself, an investment in your own personal transformation. I think, Lindsay, you said it at the very beginning. Most people come to you because they're stuck. What a perfect time of year. We're in February. How many of you viewers out there made resolutions and maybe got off to a really great start, but the momentum sort of stopped and you feel stuck? This is usually, I don't know about you, Lindsay, but for me in my coaching practice, this is when people start coming to me. They get all excited at the beginning of the year. That's not when they come to me. They come to me a month and a half or 2 months into the year because they're stuck on the resolution. So if you're feeling stuck on your resolutions and what it is that you really want to transform in 2014, here we are. You still have 10 months ahead of you. Here's the beginning to get unstuck and that opportunity for you here. Yeah.
Right. And also people often see their change as being down the line. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start getting rid of my clutter, or start to learn to play the blah, blah, or start to think about the possibility of maybe re-enrolling in some night courses or whatever it is. This lets you see what you want having been accomplished right now, so that you can have it and feel it now, even though you may not have the thing, you're experiencing the joy of having it now. So we get you to that point where you see that everything you want out there is really yours to have and enjoy now, even before you get it. Don't I mean when I ordered I got a new Mac this year, and I've been thinking about it for years. And once I decided to have it, I was very excited about that. I'm going to get a Mac. I was excited. Then I placed the order, and I go, yay, just a few more days, I'll get it. And I'm just really excited about this new toy I was going to get. And I do love it, too. And then I got it, and then I'm still excited about it. But the point is, you don't wait till you get that relationship or that job or that car or house or education to get excited about your life. In fact, it's the getting excited about your life now that pulls that to you. When you're in the place of I'm in debt, I'm never going to have this, you get stuck with more and more of that. This class helps turn you around, doing a 180, so that you're focused on what you want instead of trying to get rid of what you don't want. And it's a very powerful metaphor for your whole life. It's a really powerful thing to affect change.
Absolutely. And I remember actually Nick Ortner was doing a promo for something that he was doing, a tapping class or something like that. And as part of his promo, he gave credit to you, Lindsay. I don't know if you know this, but he did this whole thing and taught a very small piece of one of the bigger processes that you're going to be teaching in this weekend. And so you guys, if Nick Ortner is giving Lindsay credit and using her stuff, she's the real deal. I'm saying she has some amazing processes. Other huge people in the tapping in this industry. Is this an industry now?
Yeah, you're right. There are a lot of people are using this material already. Some of them are not using it exactly how it's intended, but there even parts of it make it valuable. And Elanya Van Zandt, who's one of my level 3 students, she might have been in your class, Lisa, has her own show on the OWN network, Elanya Fix My Blank. So she's working with celebrities and other people, helping them square away her life. And she often takes them behind the scene and does the tapping and trauma tree that we're going to teach and the other things. They haven't filmed it yet because they're, the networks are afraid of it, I guess. But she's using that and finding it a very powerful tool to really help affect change in people's lives that are very dysfunctional. So, and a lot of the examples of that too, where people are using it.
Right. So we'll pull this all together now, because I think we gave everybody a really good, broad, sweeping overview of, unless there's anything you can think of to add to what we're going to be learning in the Transformational Tap Athan. I'm super excited to be there because, like I said, I missed it in September, and this was where, for you guys viewing, this is where the idea of the live stream came, because I was one of those people who's like, oh, I could make half of the Saturday and half of the Sunday. Is she going to live stream this? And I emailed Lindsay, and she's like, no, we're not live streaming. I'm like, well, maybe you should think about that. I'd like to help you do that, because this needs to
one more technical thing to do with it. I'm glad you're handling this. So Lisa, I think all we need to do is encourage people to give this gift to themselves. And if you know you want to do the live stream, then do the bit.ly/tapathon. If you're not sure, you want to check in the live event to where it is and that sort of thing. It's at the Aqua Hotel in Marin County. Go to tinyurl.com/tapathon14 or just go to proeft.com, and the link is right there in the middle of the front page. You can't miss that. So I'm just saying, if you're on the fence, get off of it and reclaim your life by doing this.
Absolutely. And Lindsay, as always, it's wonderful to have you. I know when I was doing my radio show, blog radio show, you were on that as well as a guest expert, and I'm super excited to be collaborating with you on this project and just to be supporting you and the work that you're doing with the Transformational Tap Athan, because I believe that it's extremely powerful. And here's a really cool thing. You do the Transformational Tap Athan, and if you doing any of the World Summit, which is also the tapping summit that Lindsay is a part of, I mean, everything all together, you're just gonna, oh my God, it's really exciting to me. So again, yeah, that link is right below here, the bit.ly/tapathon to sign up for the live stream event. And Lindsay, I want to thank you so much for being a part of this special edition of The Power of Practice today.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. I really appreciate it. Thanks for doing this, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to thank all of the viewers today for joining us, whether you're watching us probably in replay, I'm guessing. You know, it really is my belief that each one of us is capable of radical transformation and achieving quantum breakthroughs in our health and our wealth and our overall happiness. It's just that sometimes that we don't have all the resources that we need in order to do that, and that's what this live stream event, Lindsay's Transformational Tap Athan, is all about. So we hope that you'll make the investment in yourself, get off of that fence and sign up and register for that. So that's it for today's special edition of The Power of Practice. We will see you next time.
Bye. Thanks, Lisa.